Hey, we've got some very fancy whiskeys, and Coy attempts to eat a deck of playing cards. This is Boost, Booze, and Barbecue.
You know why we're here. It's time for Boost, Booze, and Barbecue.
The burn, Coy.
Yeah.
It burns so good.
Sweet, sweet burn.
Oh, it's so delicious. Hello, and how are you?
I'm good.
You came rolling in here, and you have got a couple of fantastic things that I cannot wait to try. What a gentleman and a scholar.
I'd like to think so. That's what I tell everyone.
Well, not many people agree, but you know what? Today, I'm feeling it.
Gotcha.
We got some really good topics today, you guys, because we're talking about things that we've wanted to talk about, that we told you guys we were going to talk about, but it just didn't come to fruition. Like last week, for example, we had a couple of things we wanted to talk to the Dog Strip boys about. Mm-hmm. They were so entertaining, we didn't need any other content. Like, They were just on it.
No, they had so much crazy stuff going on, we didn't have to be like, hey, did you hear about the race car driver that's doing porn now? They were creating their own content, so we didn't have to bring it.
Exactly. Which is odd for Canadians, if I'm being totally honest.
But to be fair, we're still going to bring that content.
Yes.
We're not going to pretend that didn't happen. So,
yes, very true. One of the things that we keep talking about ever since we had those guys on is we have got to get a gambler going.
Yeah. And tune in next week because we are going to be doing some gambler and chump heavy conversation.
That's right. One of the boys from the Off-Road Podcast.
Yeah, so we're going to have Aaron from the Off-Road Podcast who's done a considerable amount of chump and gambler, and we're definitely going to be quizzing him on how to get ready for that kind of stuff ourselves.
Coy had a cameo on their show and did mighty fine, might I add, and I had a cameo over on the Wheelin' Podcast, ironically.
I'm thinking about going and leaving my own review on their podcast about how awesome I was.
Yes, I think you should, yeah.
Okay, I need to do that yet.
Yeah. I'd love to get on there and just be like, he's very funny. For a man with such an average penis, he is extraordinarily funny.
Yeah. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Maybe more PG.
Unusually confident.
Less phallic talk, maybe, and more just, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, people can see your head, so they know that the phallic is here.
Fair enough.
All right. We're getting off in the weeds here. Let's go ahead and start. Oh, actually, I have one thing to start us off with, Coy. Get us off on the right foot. I found a video online, and I think producer Nick has it pulled up here. When I saw it, I immediately thought of you. There we go.
Yeah, he jammed that microphone.
Can we see that one more time?
He jammed that microphone to the hilt. Yeah, I've been in that situation.
That's how you know that you're holding the note for too long.
Yeah.
If he had just said, "Porque te quiero," and then done, fine, no problem.
When there's enough time to shove a microphone in down to the base.
Yeah, that means you need to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's move on to our whiskeys, shall we?
So let's move on from throating microphones to whiskeys.
Oh, hang on. So you've got a little bit of tin cup there poured for yourself, right?
I do. I have been meaning to pick some of this up. It's Tin Cup's 10-year aged American whiskey, which I believe is technically a bourbon. But I've been meaning to pick this up for a while. They do a little run of this every year. It's a limited production every year, so I've been wanting to try it, and so I got some. You're
kind of getting into the whiskey hunting these days, aren't you?
Well, I don't. This isn't that limited. I mean, they'll sell out of the run every year, but it's not. I mean, if you want something, you can find it.
Sure.
I have never tasted it before. Have no idea. I'm not a huge fan of the regular tin cup, to be honest.
I'm not either.
Yeah. But I figured, what the heck? We'll try the 10-year aged. It comes in a really cool bottle with its own shot glass lid thing. It's a 2 parts corn, 2 different corn mash whiskeys, 1 part rye with a splash of barley and cut with the coldest Rocky Mountain water.
Oh, yeah. Rocky Mountain water. That actually sounds like a connotation. You know what I mean? Like, ever since Coors first started using that, cool spring water coming down off of the Rockies. Now, whenever I hear that, I just think, ugh.
I always wonder how that works because they also have a massive plant in, I believe it's Lewisburg or someplace like that, which I'm assuming they're not piping in Rocky Mountain water.
Probably not.
Yeah, no. So I don't know how that works, but
just imagine if we were like super wealthy, eccentric billionaires, okay? And we would go to the South Pole and find those, those crystal clear glaciers, and nothing's touched them. They're miles deep and nothing's touched them for centuries. We would gather up that water and use it for our distillation.
Well, I mean, that's probably a doable thing.
If you were an eccentric billionaire.
I don't even think you'd have to be, I mean, what, you just need somebody to melt down enough and bring it to you, right? If you're just going to do one run, couple bottles, Well,
I'm talking about like making it a viable business option.
Oh, well, I mean, you'd have to be an eccentric billionaire there was a market also available for booze that was $7,000 a bottle.
I guarantee there is. Producer Nick, you have to do a Google search for us now. Please Google search world's most expensive whiskey.
I also want to say that I know nothing's touched these glaciers for years, but isn't that where they find these like 7 million year old bacterium that then they study that's still, they've thawed out and it's still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like you could sell it for $7,000 a bottle and either turn someone into a walking host for a parasite or give them superpowers.
Sure.
You never know how it would work, but I'm assuming it couldn't end well. I mean, with this whole COVID-19 thing, we've already learned you shouldn't eat bats. I'd hate to be the reason people learn why you shouldn't drink 7,000 or 7 million year old glaciers,
I don't know where your sense of adventure is, but I'm just going to tell you to put your big boy pants on and drink some of this amazing. Listen, it's sterile, okay? It's been sterilized. It's fine. We ran it through a coffee filter. Anything that would hurt you has been caught.
I'm sure, yeah, because you know how those bacteria are that are 7 million years old. You know exactly what kills them, especially when they're in a glacier on the side of a volcano.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're, not immune to high temperatures and stuff.
Oh, please.
Yeah, no.
Please.
I'm sure that they haven't.
Nick, go back to that first tab that you opened.
Anyways,
let's go ahead and show that off.
Give me some tasting notes on this tin cup. Where are you at?
Just real quick, I wanted to this bottle of Macallan 1946 Scotch sold for $460,000. So I think there is a market for the $7,000 bottle stuff. Anyways, I digress, Coy. I like this.
You like it?
This is good. It's more rye heavy than I was anticipating.
It tastes like straight rye to me. I don't really care for it.
No. Wow.
No. It's not. It's rye heavy. It's got another funky taste going on in there that I can't quite pinpoint. Like bathroom cleaner. There, kind of on the nose.
It's a little hot.
Yeah,
I'll admit it's a little bit hot.
And for 10-year aged, I was expecting like some char and oak in there, and I'm not getting hardly any.
Well, you did just open this bottle, so here's what I'm going to suggest. We set that aside for now.
Oh, we're going to let it sit and see if it tastes better in 20 minutes?
Yeah, let's let it air, okay?
Okay.
In the meantime, I'm going to move on to this. You turned me on to this, my friend. Cascade Street Distillery, 1967 Giant Killers 50th Anniversary Bourbon Whiskey. This was produced in 2017.
They made 180 bottles total.
This is one of 4 left in the state.
For sale, at least. I mean, there could be some in somebody's cabinet, but this is in Oregon, which is the only place they sold them, I believe, from the information I dug up. And there is literally, 3 left now.
3 left now, yeah. Here we go, my friend. This one is straight bourbon whiskey, 100 proof, 50% alcohol. I'm pretty excited about it.
Now that I like.
You like that?
That's got some real sweetness right there on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
That's a good whiskey.
It still carries a lot of heat, flushes you up, but it's definitely really sweet right there at the start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like that.
It's got like a candied finish at the back end.
And it's really it's a big flavor. Like, it fills your mouth. I mean, that's what she said. But still, that's a good whiskey. I mean, you may have to pick me up a bottle of that.
Well, what do you think? Should I go and pick up the last 3 remaining bottles?
Well, I mean, if you really want to stack the market in your favor, yeah. I mean, it's got to be worth more if there's none available.
True. I like it, though. I won't mind sipping on this through the rest of the show.
I'm going to clear my palate since I did just try the tin cup. I'm going to hit it again.
Okay, you're going to think I'm nuts, but there's a little bit of like a peanut brittle thing going on right at the tail end of this whiskey.
I'm not getting that myself,
okay,
but I am. On the palate, there's kind of a little bit of like a light cherry. There's definitely a fruitiness going on, a sweetness, a little fruitiness, and I mean, it's still a real hot flavor though. It really fleshes you out.
Yeah. It's hot. I don't think this has spent a whole bunch of time in a barrel. It doesn't say how long it was oaked, but small batch, locally made.
This tin cup tastes considerably hotter, and it's 10-year age. So,
well, true. It's a good point, and it's only 42%.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. I love the way the tin cup bottles look. I love the cool metal lid. I hate the way it tastes.
Man, it's sort of like those dudes that date a supermodel, and they say exactly the same thing. It's real cool looking, fantastic to look at. Really enjoy looking at it. I thought I'd love it. Tastes horrible.
Yeah. Okay. I have not talked to one of those guys yet, but I just, this whiskey, it makes me a little sad because I was really hoping I was going to like this one.
Yeah, I know.
So it makes me sad that I'm going to be diluting this $60 bottle of whiskey with Dr. Pepper. I don't even think ice is going to help this bottle.
Well, Coy, it's like you always say. You like your whiskey like you like your women, without some other dudes hogging it. So, moving on, we've got a couple of car topics to talk about today. Producer Nick, why don't you pull up the first one for us? This is a good one. I'm really, really excited to hear this. They're going to offer a more stripped down Land Cruiser.
Yeah, right now we're in the J200 series. They're updating. Supposedly we were going to know what it looked like about right now.
Oh, yeah.
But once again, COVID. So we'll see when. But the new Toyota Land Cruiser will be the 300 series. It's supposed to be coming out about this time next year. And there's supposed to be a stripped down, cheaper version, non-luxury, that'll put it in the 4Runner Tacoma price range. So kind of normal people price range. Yeah. And it's going to be able to come, of course, not in America, the diesel. There'll be I think it was a 2.8 liter diesel, a 3.5 or 3.6 liter V6 that I hear is going to be a hybrid and a V8.
This article says V6, 3.5 liter twin turbo V6, but available in a hybrid form. That is bizarre.
Well, they've said they were going to make the Land Cruiser in a hybrid form. And one of their hybrid SUV Lexi, already has that 3.5 liter V6 hybrid drivetrain. So it sounds like they will just be grabbing that drivetrain, stuffing it in.
What do you think about it so far?
So, and I've read more than just this article. It sounds like it'll be smaller, lighter, and cheaper, which the Land Cruiser has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And we are in the biggest variant of the Land Cruiser, But if you talk to a lot of the hardcore Land Cruiser guys, this is the last variant of the Land Cruiser is the strongest, toughest Land Cruiser they've made. It's got the beefiest transmission, some of the beefiest axles. It's got the highest roof load capacity, highest payload capacity. Like when they build other vehicles for like Arctic expeditions, they pull a lot of the drivetrain parts out of these 200 series Land Cruisers to put in like Hilux and whatnot that they build the Arctic trucks
No
for.
kidding.
Yes, the transfer case and stuff in this, I guess, is extremely robust. That being said, it needs to go on a diet.
Right,
So I'm hoping they cheapen it up, make it smaller, make it lighter, get back at least a little bit to those off-road routes, and
sure.
make it a attainable thing for a normal person.
I mean, honestly, how many people are running out and buying one of these to off-road with or overland with? It's $80,000.
In America, no one.
Right.
In Australia or the Middle East, a fair number.
Sure.
So if they can get the price down here, that's my mic, I think.
My bad.
Oh, anyways. If they can get the price down here, then I think it's going to be a win-win.
Yeah.
I mean, they can still make a luxury version. Kind of luxury SUVs, I feel like, are falling off anyways, though. Everybody wants a Toyota, TRD Pro, 4Runner. So I feel like if they can do a TRD Pro version of a Land Cruiser, it's just going to be a win for Toyota and for us. And if they're going to try and compete with some of the new, domestic offerings, the Bronco, the Jeep Gladiator, and some of the stuff, they need to have the Land Cruiser rolling.
Sure. Well, it kind of sounds to me like if they would just take the 200 series, leave it the way it is, but ease up, cheapen it up, make it not such a luxury barge, that would be the recipe for greatness here. So do you really think that the 300, like how much are they actually going to change for the 300 series versus the 200 series? Do you think it's going to be lighter all the way around? And
I think not only does it, I think they have to. So the 200 series has been around for 13 years, something like that. It's been around a decade anyway. So let's just say 10 years. Toyota's got to do a lot just with their average fuel mileage stuff and the carbon emission BS. So, and the Land Cruiser gets 14 miles a gallon on a good day. And they get notoriously bad mileage. So I think
dude, and you know what? Sorry to interrupt. You can't do that anymore as a manufacturer in America. You have to, because your average fuel economy has to be above a certain point.
Yeah. And Toyota that's one of the reasons FJ Cruisers got cut. Because, they didn't get any worse fuel mileage than a 4Runner or whatever, but they had to look at the amount of sales and cut that out to bring their average where it needs to be. So, obviously, Toyota's not going to cut Land Cruiser. It's their iconic. Yeah. That's been their number one vehicle for a billion years. So I think they're going to do a little diet, cheapen it up, and just get it more viable in America.
There was a 4.5 liter twin turbo diesel V8 available in other countries.
I can't say
Holy
for certain,
smokes.
but they get so much better stuff.
Dude, why? I don't understand. Why do manufacturers do this?
So something people don't understand in, like, say, Australia, that's one of the main markets for Land Cruisers, Australia, of course. So they don't have, just recently Dodge started selling Ram trucks started selling full-size trucks there. They don't have full-size trucks. So if you were a cattle rancher, a Land Cruiser or basically a diesel Nissan Armada, that was your tow rig. That was your big vehicle. So they put big heavy-duty big heavy-duty diesels in these. That was your work truck. They're not really a luxury vehicle in Australia. They're work vehicles. In Australia, if you were, say, a big rancher or something, you go from something like this to like an Isuzu, straight front cab over tow truck looking thing.
Right.
That's the next step. There's not a large pickup version like we have here. So they get all the killer V8 diesels. We get gas V8s because we're luxury stuff. And some rich guy wants to be able to get on it.
That is so lame. You know what it reminds me of, though, is, what is that Volkswagen SUV? I keep wanting to say Touareg. It's not a Touareg, though. Producer Nick, would you pull up VW diesel? Is it the diesel V?
The W8? There was a Touareg diesel, and I think it was a W8. Or there's videos of them doing like pull-offs with big Chevy diesels and just smoking them.
And this is how you guys know, like, we do all of this stuff off of the cuff, unfortunately, because it's just coming off the top of my head. Yeah, no, that's not it. It's
just
one of their SUVs.
Look up diesel Touareg. That's what it is. I'm near certain.
But isn't it like a V12 diesel?
I think it's a V10.
A V10
It's an
diesel?
oddball. But yeah, there's plenty of video. It's the body style before this that one that was pictured, but plenty of video of those because they had like a computer controlled all-wheel drive system, and it was a really good. It worked very well. So dudes would put tow ropes from one of those to, say, a lifted Chevy Duramax.
There we go, V10 TDI,
and smoke those guys and just start dragging. Yeah, right there, third video.
Yep.
Yeah, Duramax bumper pole. He's just gonna roast this dude for sure.
And these things are just outrageous. This is an example of one of the diesel motors that we actually got in the United States that we need to be seeing more of, quite frankly.
And that nobody bought these and no one wanted them, but they were actually pretty legit.
Pretty legit. These things were amazing. Have you seen the drag races with these?
I haven't seen any drag races with these. I know there's guys that kind of build these. There's a bit of a following with them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a huge following for them. All right, go ahead and hit play, Nick. I think you're muted on your end. Oh, nope.
This is so
And that is not a small truck.
You know your redneck wins. See, we have transplanted you to redneck.
Coy, you know your redneck win.
Yeah, when you say that. You know you're redneck when you say you know you're redneck. It's a kind of lifted Chevy Duramax full-size diesel truck hooked
With
to
stacks.
This. Yeah, no, I'm assuming somewhat built, judging by the stacks.
Can you see me?
Any day now.
3.
There you go, Karen.
And that Chevy's hopping, and this Touareg's just dragging him. Just straight dragging him. The camera
Why is
person's
that
laughing
so?
too hard to even keep the... He straight got drug. He got drug up.
That is so cool to me. I don't know why. All right, do one more for us. Touareg V10 TDI drag.
And this kind of, when these came out, is when kind of Volkswagen, Audi were doing all the diesel stuff. I mean, Audi had that diesel Le Mans car that just destroyed for a while there.
Well, and a lot of them are going diesel now. All right, here we go. Go ahead and hit play there, Nick. Okay, we've got it lined up against, looks like a Catfish Camaro, right?
Yep.
Diesel V10 twin turbo. And that Camaro
Sounded plenty beefy.
sounded plenty beefy. What are we gonna do here? What are we gonna do? That thing is flat moving. It's not going slow, that Touareg.
Ran a 15.6.
In a diesel SUV. Come on, you remember back in the day when that was a fast car?
I mean, back in the day, a fast Honda was a 14-second Honda.
Honda.
If you ran a 14.1, that was a quick car. So, considering he went a second, I mean, that's not bad. Not bad at all.
The Chevy Cavalier, they had a hot version. I can't remember what the notation on it was, but they actually touted that it was a 15.3 car.
Cavalier had it's one of those cars that like everybody knew was bad, but then like every 150 guys, one dude would just be like, Cavaliers are where it's at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, dude, you just put a crazy like Black Widow Venom body kit on a Cavalier and just a bump and sound system, but didn't, insulate anything, and then underglow the daylights out of it and just roll around and try and race people. And they were like, yeah, I'm a twin turbo it. Like, I'm gonna get my tax returns. I'm gonna do supercharger and six speed transmission, and then like,
Oh yeah, because they were automatic for sure.
it was for sure an automatic. But those were the guys that you would always be like, oh, really, a 6-speed? What are you gonna take the 6-speed out of? And they'd be like, I didn't take the 6-speed out of a Volkswagen Corrado, and they'd have some story, and you'd just be like, look, dude, I'm into cars.
Yep.
No, You're not doing a real drive conversion on this. Like, that's just not how it works.
Although you have to admit, it would be pretty fun to have one of those Cavaliers now with like an LS4, in the back, obviously.
Yeah, well, that would be cool, but I mean, it doesn't exist.
No, I know, but man, again, going back to the whole like crazy eccentric billionaire thing, I would love to just get, I seriously would run out and buy every single Malibu SS I could find. Just every single one. Mm-hmm. And just motor transmission out, rest of the car garbage. Just rows of dumpsters, and I'm just taking my forklift and dumping these front clipless.
Just got a backhoe, just smashing them down into a dumpster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That way no one has to assault their eyeballs with these things anymore, right? But then we just take that, and the LS4 is, of course, a 5.3 liter, but it's got the better heads, and it's got a cam, and it makes 300 and some odd horsepower, but it's an LS. So, turbo, ProCharger, whatever, for the most part, it all bolts on, and it's a front-wheel drive platform.
There was the other car like that, would have been like a 96 Monte Carlo? I just remember it was basically a two-door Chevy Lumina. They used the same headlights and stuff, and it was just hideous. Mm-hmm. And then they were front-wheel drive, of course, and they had some hot motor in them like that.
That was back when they were doing the 3.8 with the supercharger out of the
Was that a
Buick
supercharged 3.8 in the Monte Carlos? I hesitate to even call those Monte Carlos because they were two-door Chevy Luminas.
I don't think they were the supercharged ones. I'm pretty sure they weren't. But you can run out and get a Buick Century of that same era, the mid-90s. Mm-hmm. And, they have that 3.8 push rod, iron everything, but it's supercharged. And those motors are tough, real tough. It is bizarre how tough those motors are. Like, they actually have a small following.
Small following, but no parts support.
Well, you don't need too many parts. They're good for like 500 horsepower. So, I mean, a lot of people, if you want to put big power through them, you just take the supercharger off, you do a turbo kit, not a small turbo either, and just fill them full of boost, and they really run.
That makes me wonder how good the transmission is, though, because those mid-90s cars, those domestic mid-90 front-wheel drives were not known for robust transmissions.
Every once in a while, one of those manufacturers would just be like, you know what? We're done warrantying these things. I'm tired of it. Get Getrag on the phone. Every once in a while, there are some of those more obscure cars like that one. I'm almost positive those have a Getrag automatic transmission in them. Same with the front-wheel drive Malibu SS with the LS4 in them. Those are a Getrag 4-speed automatic transmission.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me kind of want to pick one up.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I'm not sure why, but a part of me is like, maybe I want one.
Yeah. You know who is definitely not going to want one, though?
Who?
It's our next topic. Go ahead and pull her up. Producer Nick.
No, she's been pulled up a few times these last couple weeks.
Woo! All right, now do the first article first because it's more legit to read. So, this Australian racing driver, Renee, stop scrolling, please. Renee Gracie has. I don't think she has any wins to her name. She was apparently kind of a well-to-do hot to trot in the V8 supercar in Australia. People thought that she might go somewhere, but instead she sort of went in Danica Patrick's footsteps.
She went down. That's what you're saying? Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, literally, she went down on someone else.
We're getting there. Renee has decided to change her profession from professional race car driver, which frankly, no one understands how she made it to professional race car driver. But now she is making that OnlyFans work, Coy.
Good for her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's not a ton of money in racing.
So. No. As they say, you want to know how to become a millionaire in racing?
Oh.
You start out a billionaire.
Yeah.
Speaking of, did you hit the Spreaker button when we first started? Oh, Nick's on it. All right, man. So we've seen her in a race car. Now go over to the other article. And I apologize for those of you on audio only. You're not going to see what we're scrolling through, but go ahead and move.
Wait, so sorry, $14,000 a week?
14,000 pounds a week.
So that's like $20,000?
It's like 40,000.
I would switch to porn right now for $40,000. There's not a lot I wouldn't do for $40,000 a week.
Yeah, I agree. Coming back around to the $14,000, if that's what it was, yeah, I would probably do that myself. Hey, she's got the Instagram going.
Yeah, she. I don't blame her.
I don't either.
And I'm going to alienate any female fan we just now, but. I've known a lot of chicks. I shouldn't say a lot. I've known quite a few chicks that were into racing, and I feel like most of those were just one hard day away from porn anyways. Like, they're one bad week away from porn.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
they needed attention bad.
There's a reason why we have a term tire biter.
Yeah, not all.
Yeah.
But just like 99.9%.
Well, but think about it for a second. Why would car guys attract single moms? It's because, for the most part, I'm not talking about all of them, but by and large, they know how to fix stuff. They have steady-ish jobs because they dump all of their money into the cars. Mm-hmm. They know how to take care of things around the house at least a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They're going to provide for whoever or whatever is in their life. I don't know. It's probably slam dunk.
Yeah.
Is there any other photos there, Nick? Oh, yeah. Wow, that one. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to let you audio listeners just go ahead and jump out there and do a Google search. Go ahead and turn safe search off, though. You might as well, huh?
Said she got over it, realized she wasn't good enough, and moved on. Then I was selling cars at a car yard, busting my ass. A couple of fans suggested I do onlyfans.com, and it started from there. She started with just nude photos, but having made nearly 1,700 pounds in her first week, she rapidly moved on to sharing videos of her.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm, if anybody wants to write me and suggest I do nude photos and I can make 1,700 pounds or whatever that comes out to, $3,000 or something the first week, then I'm going to look for the next step as well. So I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Make hay while the sun shines.
Go ahead and find Koi on OnlyFans under Dixie Normus.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's not enormous, though, is shockingly this new Ford Bronco Koi. It's smaller than I thought it was going to be.
Same here. This video of the 2021 Ford Bronco that has been totally ruined because of the coronavirus. It's doing some mudding. Can we get some audio on that? And while they have it completely camoed up with all the, weird body panels so you can't tell what it looks like, they're trying to let you get a sense of its off-road prowess.
And I'm going to say it doesn't look huge. It does look like it has a rear locker on it of some kind. I don't really know what was going on in that scene right there where the rear tires weren't moving and the front tires were just biting and carrying it around. So I'm pretty curious what they were trying to show off there.
There is supposedly like a turn brake option on these.
Oh, no kidding.
They haven't really gave much info, but yeah, there is some kind of option supposedly where you can lock one inside rear tire and
scroll on down there, Nick,
and spin around in a tighter circle. Which, since it's based on the Ford Ranger chassis, those have a really tight turning radius already. So I'm real excited about these new Broncos.
If you'll recall, last year we sat in a couple of Rangers when they first came out at the Portland. Yeah. I was not a fan of the Ranger on the inside. I'm personally hoping that the Bronco is going to fit a little bit better because it is so boxy.
I'm sure it will, honestly. I'm super excited about it.
They say July 9th is when it's going to launch. Do you actually think it's going to be launching July 9th?
I mean, we'll see. Are the factories back and running? I mean, if it's launching July 9th, they need to be pumping them out right now, which last I heard, factories weren't running yet. But I'm not sure where they manufacture this. I'm guessing Mexico.
Yeah.
So there may not be any laws on that there.
Could be some in Canada too, but Mexico wouldn't surprise me quite so much because the virus hasn't really impacted the warmer weather areas quite as much. Keep going down a little bit there, Nick. There you go. Yeah, 2021. Huh. I don't know. I'm pretty curious. It even looks like it has a rag top, Coy. Am I?
Yeah, it's supposed to have a removable top for sure. Whether it's a rag top or not, I don't know. Now, when that video played in the first part of it, can we go back? Was that a 2-door one that it first showed?
It showed a 2-door and a 4-door, yeah.
Okay, that's... Yeah, so there's that 2-door one. Oh, that's a slick little rig.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'm hoping, they're supposedly making the regular Bronco in a 2- and a 4-door, and then a baby Bronco, which I have heard nothing of the baby Bronco because no one cares.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's going to be a Jeep Renegade.
I'm near certain that's what's going to go on with it.
How do you even get a trail-rated front-wheel drive? It's the Jeep Renegade. It's the new PT Cruiser. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's the new PT Cruiser. How do you get a trail rating for a PT Cruiser, Coy?
You carry a lot of speed into your obstacles. Yes. The factory skid plates, while being beer can thin, they do hold up getting across the Rubicon once.
Oh boy.
You stack a lot of rocks.
Yeah. You bring some 2x4s.
You want that Rubicon rating. Yeah, you hire a professional and they drag it through.
I don't like it. I'm sorry, but like an all-wheel drive Scion XB would have been cool 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Now I'm just not into it.
Yeah, for me it's like it's a cooler looking Forester,
Sure, yeah.
That's what it is. It's not an off-roader. It's a Subaru with a Jeep emblem.
Listen, we've talked about this before. Here's what you do. You want to make a baby Bronco and you want people to be really into it, right? You take the 2.7 liter twin turbo EcoBoost out of the Ford Edge ST.
Yeah.
You throw that in the baby Bronco. You make it all-wheel drive. You dump that thing on its nuts, okay? And you put some 245, 255, 35 18s on it, all right? Some just absolute steamroller meats. Ooh, some box flares, perhaps?
So if this photo producer Nick just pulled up has any truth to it,
It's a Range Rover.
They're calling it a Bronco Sport. Yeah, it's just a Range Rover.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hideous. But ugh.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah. See, this would be good. I would be fine with this if they were making a real Bronco. Like once all the real Broncos are gone, then bring this turd out. But if we're going to go ahead and build a removable top, 4-wheel drive, lockers, tank steering awesomeness, then no reason to build one with a Bronco name on it that looks like crap.
I don't even understand. Like, what could they possibly offer?
Well, maybe they thought that the Bronco name had garnered too much respect and they needed to bring it back down a few notches. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, remember the late 80s when they had those Bronco 2s and we lost our Bronco following? We need to do some more of that.
That's what they're going to do here. I mean, listen, if it looks like a Land Rover, okay, folks that are listening in, but I don't know if it's a Land Rover or not. That's a completely baseless accusation. Let me tell you something, though. Does that not look like the latest generation Discovery?
Yeah, no, that's Land Rover based. You know what I'm going to love is when somebody's like, hey, so what are you wheeling? They're like, oh, I got a Bronco. They're like, oh, sweet, those are awesome. In their head, they're going to be thinking real Bronco. They're going to be like 2-door, 4-door. They're like, oh, no, I got the 4-door. I need full family. And they're going to think lockers, mud tires, And then the dude's going to pull up in this, and you're going to go, oh, he's got a Ford Explorer. Nice.
Once again, I'm not giving up on my thought that if they put one of the EcoBoost motors in this with gobs of power, some street-wise tires, and just didn't even try to make it a off-road thing. Just
I agree.
Don't even bother.
I agree. Yeah, we're taking a Bronco to the Kentucky Derby situation here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're just flat out making it fast.
Yeah, I'm really hung up on the whole SRT10, the Dodge SRT10 truck. It is still the fastest production truck in the world, and frankly it shouldn't be.
No, I've said the same thing. Like, these companies love to break records. Here's a extremely easy one to beat. Just throw high boost at whatever truck you have and call it a day. Like, it's not a big deal.
Right, exactly. And especially with these next generation trucks. I understand that they don't want it. No, I take that back. I don't understand why they don't want to do it. It's all of those pencil pushers, and they're just like, nobody's going to be interested. Yet here we are talking about it. I've been on 3 other podcasts talking about this very thing, and they all agree with me. They're like, yeah, it's BS. Why don't we have one of these faster rigs?
Definitely keep the average mileage down. Like they can't jump into this crazy stuff because of that.
Well, that's why Ford is perfectly posed for this stuff. It's because their EcoBoost cars and trucks get 16 to 20 miles to the gallon. Like we're there. We're there. It's time.
Yeah, no, I agree.
This is it. The Ranger gets the 4-cylinder EcoBoost. Why in the hellfire would you not at least put the 2.7 EcoBoost in that thing? It makes no sense.
So here's a conversation kind of down the same vein. So there's going to be a Raptor Bronco, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got into this with the Off-Road Podcast guys last week. Are we calling it a Bronco Raptor? What do you think that we're going to name this?
A Braptor?
I mean, we already got the Raptor.
A Rapto.
We already got
Rapeco?
We already got the Ford van, the Rapador.
Yeah.
The new Ford van.
He was a young Rapador.
Which I hope to God, like if Ford just had one of their big E-Series massive vans, cargo van, windowless, and it was just slammed with the Raptor setup, and it was just the Raptor, just a Ford Raptor van, like I would go buy one. I would drop everything right now. I'm like, we're going to the dealer to pick up a Raptor. Yeah. I would debadge it, black it out, tint it up.
Now, here's the question.
And I would tow things so hard.
Do you want it to be all-wheel drive, or do you want it to be rear-wheel drive? Because in theory, this could become your next drift van.
It's a tough call, because do we go full 4-wheel drive van, or do Mr. T status?
I'm thinking Mr. T status. Do the streetwise,
70s van.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
doing burnouts everywhere you go.
I want that front bumper on the ground and that back bumper pointing at the sky.
Exactly. Yeah.
Disco ball in it. Shag carpet. Maybe like an octagon window in the back corner with like a dragon down the side.
When I found out that they could not get the A-Team van to spin the tires to save their life, I was so disappointed.
I'm sure I could get it too. Like, it's not that hard.
No, but I mean, I watched an interview with one of the stunt drivers from the A-Team, and he was just like, yeah, no, that thing was an absolute pig. We'd pour bleach on the back tires and like jump up and down on the bumper to get it spinning, and then we'd all jump off. The camera guy get his shot of it during the burnout, and then that was that. Yeah,
but I mean, surely they could have just got any guy in there to just work that engine over, and they'd have a burnout machine.
You would think that.
I mean, that says less about the A-Team van, more it does about the movie industry just making fake fast cars.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, they could have just put a dry nitrous kit on the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I'm willing to bet there's an episode of A-Team where they do that. Anyways. And
there is.
To make that episode, it would be just as easy to put a real dry nitrous kit on than a fake one.
Yeah, I remember that episode vividly. They broke into a dental office to get the nitrous oxide.
I had no clue, but like I've seen enough episodes that you know like that has to have happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. That's awesome.
Dude, that show is the reason why I want a Mini 14.
Oh,
I've always wanted a Mini 14 because that's all they ever used.
Yeah.
Cigar hanging out of my mouth. Standing in the back of a van, just letting 223s fly out the back of this thing, and miraculously no one dies, even though cars are exploding.
Yeah, no.
I'm just standing there, just everything's exploding behind me. But then, you can see, like, if you have your binoculars out. No. People are getting out of the cars, and they're, oh, dang it.
Yeah, no, the car flips through the air, and then the guys jump out and kick at it and stuff.
Yeah. Kick the tire. Oh, got a flat.
I always like how they shoot at the guys on motorcycles, and then the dudes on motorcycles always hit like a big pile of trash cans. You know what I mean? Like they wreck in the softest possible spot. You don't ever see them just veer off and like hit the brick front of a pizza parlor and just flatten. You know what I mean? Which realistically, they're just going to slide over and hit the back of a car parked on the curb, and you're just going to see a big red poof and a helmet fly through the air.
Yeah, exactly. With the head still in it.
Yeah. Well, even if the head's not in it, just there's no good outcome either way.
Also true.
Yeah.
Also true. But it's always like, oh man, I'm so glad this mattress factory is right here.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, I'll just pile into the back of this truck filled with sheep. You know, poof.
Oh no, we spilled all this Jello, and then the motorcycle guy just.
Yeah. It's like, oh, the apple cart was positioned so perfectly. He just landed in all those watermelons.
Yeah. Oh, after we shot him up, obviously.
Yeah. Well, no, you shoot something right in front of them. Like you shoot the ground in front of them, which makes their handlebars go sideways.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah. Well, you shoot stuff around them to block their path.
Right. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. You know what, Coy? That actually moves us on to my favorite segment, and yours, I think. We got that ready, Nick? This one, I have no idea. I'm seriously mixed up on this one, man. Speaking of things that can just drive through any blockade, this is a Bronco. As a matter of fact, does it have a year on it? 1979.
I was going to
Ford
say,
Bronco.
this is late. Oh, that's what the front looks like.
Yeah. So, listen, folks who are tuning in the audio only, you have got to go and check this thing out. We will go ahead and put a link up to it so you can see it. But it's a Ford Bronco 1979 with a 460 in it, which I think might be, I mean, at this point, it's a bit of a misnomer.
It's the front end has that very Fab Fours, like metallic Jeep Angry Eyes thing going on. Yeah, it's a straight knockoff of that. I'm not a fan of that.
Don't like that, huh?
No, I like, if he had just a regular Bronco front end on this, I would be super stoked about this truck, but that's odd.
Well, it is lifted, it is widened, it's got a straight axle front end. I honestly have no clue what size tires those are. Any thoughts?
Those got to be 38s. Let me run to Super Swamper. 16, 40, 15s, 40s then?
40s, okay, yeah. It's kind of ugly, but at the same time, it kind of looks like a SEMA build, but it's still very ugly.
Honestly, if you go from the front door back, it is an amazing build. That he's got an oddball front end on it, just odd. Everything else about it is beautiful.
It's a 460 engine, 10.5 to 1 compression, Holley Sniper EFI system on it.
It's got some kind of funky rooftop tent, an awning, tube doors.
Heavy duty C6 transmission with an adjustable first gear. I don't know what that means. Front and rear end gearing, 456 gears, excuse me. Wow. Rhino rack, roof tent, a 15,000 pound winch, gnarly stereo system, Coy.
Gnar.
A trailer hitch, which I don't think is going to do you a whole lot of good in this thing. It does come with the hard top, and it does have custom seats, none of which look very comfortable.
New glass and many extras you can see in the photos.
Man, this thing is absolutely done. All for the low price, Coy, of $85,000. It's about the same price as a brand new Land Cruiser.
This is local to me, and I'm like half tempted to schedule and go see this.
I was thinking the same thing.
Like, I'm not going to buy it, but I want to see what all's going on here and just meet the guy that thinks he's going to get $85,000. I mean, it's cool, and you know what? If he had a regular front end on this and it sat just how it is, and he rolled it through, a Jackson's auction or Meekham's or something, maybe he would get some crazy price. This body style, the full size Bronco, these 70s Broncos, don't generally fetch the high prices. It's usually those early Broncos, the smaller ones, and those are getting, the rust hit those really hard, so those are getting more and more rare. But you do see those up $40,000, $50,000 pretty commonly. These not so much.
I have no doubt he has over $100,000 worth of mods in this.
Oh, he's got a ton of money into this. Tons and tons of money.
Yeah.
He's never going to see his $85,000. It's probably not ridiculous for him to ask that because he has so much money into it, but he'll never see it.
That interior's hit is. I'm sorry, but that tiny little steering wheel It's like a Grant steering wheel, one of the ones they hang in Baxter Auto Parts. That dashboard looks like it's ready to cut you. The color is awful. I don't like the interior at all. I don't even know what to say about those seats.
There is a ton of things about this that I don't like, but I will say the craftsmanship looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like all the welds and the way everything's fabbed up looks excellent. Taste is horrible.
Yeah, yeah. You know what they say, I may not know art, but I know what I like. This is not it.
For me, I may not know art, but I know it isn't.
Yeah.
This isn't art, but whoever built this is the guy you want to build your stuff, but you need to tell him what you want.
Yeah, because
don't
obviously
give him free range.
No, he's not going to build something that you're going to like. Mm-mm. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this thing. Again, I mean, it looks like a failed SEMA build. I don't know who this was built for. I don't know who got the enjoyment out of it. There's no doors. He says it has a hard top, but it has like the door bars, these insanely customized, tubular door bars.
Half doors, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Are you going to let this thing sit outside, Coy?
No, you can't. It can't be outside. You can't really even go off road with it like this unless you just want to ruin it. Like, I mean, by ruin it, I mean it is pristine condition,
mm-hmm.
and you go off road and it's just gonna be full of dust and dirt and mud, and
all of your exposed stereos, all those exposed speakers. It's not gonna be good.
No. While I think this truly is one of a kind, and I think it's kind of cool in a lot of ways, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a fat doob.
Yeah.
I still kind of want to go check it out, though.
I'm not going to go full doob. It's definitely not a deal. I mean, it can't be a deal at all. Not even close. Again, like you said, the craftsmanship is one of a kind. Someone was smoking some serious doobs when they put that front bumper on the thing. $85,000 ain't it? Where do you think you'd land on that thing?
A realistic price, I think this would actually sell for 20. Like I wouldn't give them 20 for it, but I think that this would sell for 20, 22, somewhere in there.
Interesting. Okay. I was going to put it closer to 30 because it is so custom.
I just, this body style, I don't ever see anybody really wanting the full size Broncos.
That's fair enough. Wow. I don't even know what to say about this thing. I think we need a palate cleanser. Typically, you guys, we're not going to do 2 cars. We've done 2 cars a couple of times here. I felt like today we needed to do 2 cars because one of them, I don't know if any of our listeners truly are going to be spending $85,000 on a vehicle. You know what I mean?
I'm saying probably none.
But I'm fairly certain we have a few listeners / viewers that would be able to swing this next one. Go ahead and pull that up, Nick. This monstrosity, this abomination, go ahead and open up the...
what exactly would you call this? A Miata T-Bucket?
Yeah, a T-Bucket Miata. It's a 1995 Miata. Runs and drives great. Manual 5-speed transmission. 1.8 liter stock NA motor. Summit Racing Aero steel wheels. Okay. Deep dish 15 by 10 rear wheels with race slicks. Okay.
Which there has to be some crazy spacers or something going on because they are 8 inches outside of the bodywork.
Straight pipe dual exhaust, coilover suspension, race bucket seats, race ready safety harness. That front end, I'm not sure how to describe that for our listeners, Coy.
It's very pig snouty. I mean, I get where they're going with the T-Bucket look, but you know, I kind of like this. I'm not gonna lie. I got feelings for it. It's weird, but I would love to take this thing for a cruise. Now, those rear wheels, the way I don't know what all's going on there, but I feel like the slightest bump and you're just going to cut the daylights out of those rear wheels. But
I agree with that. I
feel like I'd have to do something there. But most of this car, I mean, it's kind of an old beat up Miata that somebody, for all intents and purposes, rat rotted.
And go back to where they have the front end all taken apart, Nick. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with the ingenuity. I'll at least say that. I mean, they've got the pod lights mounted. They've got some kind of a different radiator there. They even have an overflow coolant tank. I'm impressed with all of that, quite frankly. And I kind of dig, they have the old school pancake filter.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of fun. I dig that. I'm not going to say that, whoa, holy smokes, I just realized those welds. Do you see those welds?
On the radiator and the frame?
On the frame right there. Can you expand that photo, Nick?
Yeah, no, they got some angle iron work going on here, and it's hideous.
I need you to zoom in on that photo right there. Wow. So, our previous car, lots and lots of good craftsmanship. This car, booger welds for days.
I think this is called craftsmanship.
Craftsmanship, yes.
Yeah, for what it's doing, I'm sure it's going to hold. But
I recognize those welds. Do you know what those came from?
A Harbor Freight welder.
A Harbor Freight 90 amp flux core. Yep.
Yeah, it kind of like those top ones. Wow. They didn't even take time to wire brush off the boogers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they just spray painted over them. Yeah. Look at these ones over here on the cross member. What were they doing welding there, anyways? Oh, they added that piece of square tubing. Those are the best looking welds on it, and those are pretty hideous. They're extremely cold.
So obviously, you're not going to want to hit anybody front end wise with this thing.
Yeah, no. If you rear end somebody, it's gonna be bad, real bad, Bobby.
Mm-hmm. All right, Nick.
What's the price on this, though?
It comes in at $2,500. Yeah,
and the mileage.
145,000.
You know, I'm leaning towards deal on this. Honestly, $2,500 is a little high, but I mean, you got to figure there's wiggle room on something like this. You tell him to keep his wheels and tires and bring your own, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this could be an ultra fun gambler or just an ultra fun. Like, I would love to just show up to an old car show, just be like, hey, it's 25 years old, you know, check it out. I'm in, like, just to piss off old guys with super hot rods, and you just whip in there with this and gonna steal a ton of attention with your super hoopty Miata. You know? Yeah. It would be a ton of fun to take this to shows just to piss people off.
I agree with that. I have no idea what kind of suspension he's using. You can see it in the front. It doesn't look bad, honestly. And you know what? It's a 1.8 liter Miata. It's an NA8. It doesn't look like any of this. Well, I don't know. The front end, the stuff that's welded onto the frame rails and stuff, I don't know. You're not going to be able to really repair that.
What do you need to do, though? It's holding your radiator and that shroud up. If those welds were really good, you got in a wreck, what difference would it make?
Well, I just mean it's so ugly. I would love to put something else on the front end.
Oh, no, I want it. Like, when you get a car like this, I'm going for ugly.
Yeah, you roll with it, huh?
Yeah. No, I might shine the wheels and put like a Flowmaster sticker on, or that red woodpecker, hooker header or something. In fact, I would try and do as many like muscle car stickers on this thing as I could.
Oh yeah.
Even though everybody knows I have nothing Edelbrock on it, like boom, I'm putting it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Edelbrock XL.
Yeah. I'm just gonna load up with all
NRG.
Yeah.
Grant.
Yeah. American Racing.
Yes.
All of that just right down the edge of the door.
I love that. You know what? $2,500. I'm not into it. If it was $1,500, I'd probably be driving to pick it up right now.
That's, there's a sweet spot, but I mean, that's not that far from $2,500. So while it's not a deal, it's leaning towards deal, and I'm going to go ahead and throw deal at it.
Okay.
You could make it a deal if you wheel and deal.
Yeah. So I think we're a little split here. I'm not going to give it a solid deal. It's halfway in between. But as always, you guys out there listening and watching right now, please do let us know how wrong we are. Let us know how valuable each of these cars is. Maybe they're both worth $1 million. Maybe they're both worth $500, Coy.
Maybe.
I'm leaning towards the latter. So please do reach out to us. Let us know what you think about these. And thank you, Coy. Oh, before we go, you have got to taste this tin cup.
This tin cup. Smells the same. Wow. Now that it's sad, I still really don't like it.
And on that bombshell, folks, it is time for us to end. Thank you once again for tuning in. Thank you for telling a friend. We really do appreciate you doing that and letting people know what we're doing here and just generally having fun with us. We appreciate that, and we always have a good time when we do it. So, Coy, thank you, my friend. Always good to see you.
Yep.
Producer Nick, thank you. A huge thanks to everyone who has been talking to us this past week. We've had a ton of fun with that. And another huge shout out to everybody who shares this show. So one more time, thanks so much. And for producer Nick, Coy, this is Andy, and we will see you next time.